sky.
Pain has a face. Allow me to show it to you. I am pain.
Good evening, ladies, gentlemen, ghosts, ghouls, boys, and girls. Welcome to this week's episode of Sacrificial Terror Podcast. I am Sam, I am Mason, with the always lovely Miss
Zombie Barbie.
and my brother from another mother, Mr. Incomparable himself, Mr. Lance the Flair Wagner.
Woo!
And on tonight's show, we have the one, the only, Mr. Muscles himself, Kevin Caliber Thomsen. Brother,
What's up,
thank you for
guys?
coming on the show. Yeah!
Thanks for having me.
The champ. The champ.
Mr. Waxx Waster himself.
That's so
Fucking
awesome.
That's
yeah.
right.
That's surreal for me. I'm just like, try not to fanboy too much. I swear I'm not.
I appreciate it. Maybe later I'll slip into the wax for you.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. There you go, Lance.
That's
Another
awesome.
exclusive for Lance.
Yes. Always looking for exclusives, Kevin.
Yep.
That's
So,
right.
We're always
so
looking for
before we were on camera, we were off stage bullshitting a little bit, and I can't really say off stage because we're not really on a stage together. But anyways, we were talking before we started recording, and we were talking about the areas that we live in, okay, and how we have to point them out. So you're in Sherman Oaks, correct?
That's it.
Which is 3 miles from Beverly Hills as a bird flies.
That's right. Yeah. Or
Okay.
in LA traffic, anywhere between 10 minutes and an hour and a half by car.
That's crazy.
Right?
God damn.
Okay. But nobody knows where the hell Sherman Oaks is.
No, not at all. There was a TV show back in the day called Sherman Oaks. It was on Showtime in the 90s.
I
And
remember.
that was my only reference to it. It was about a guy who was an aspiring filmmaker, and I'm pretty sure he directed porn or something. Because we are in the valley,
Nice.
and that's what goes down the valley. You got to go to the other side of the hill to.
Chatsworth was back in the 90s. Chatsworth was really big for porn.
Oh yeah, one of my first shoots when I first came to LA, I had to go to Chatsworth, and I walked in, and I was in the Penthouse Studios.
Wow.
And
Nice.
no clue. Walked in, and I'm walking on the thing, and there's all the things. Then you walk in, it's literally a set of many bedroom setups. As you walk to the back of the stage, there's like 9 of them, 9 beds, all with different themes. I was like, oh, okay, this is how they do it. And I didn't know what I was asked for. I've never seen it, but it was a Japanese sex doll, actually. So
It was a what?
a Japanese sex doll, one of those high-tech things. So I get
Nice.
casted as playing a bartender. They're like, now you're going to flirt with this person. And the whole concept of the commercial was, why risk going to a bar and spending your hard-earned money and possibly going home with somebody that could be dirty, whenever you could just buy this doll and just have it at home. That you could just go ahead and do it. And I'm pretty sure I was the butt of the joke because they had me like go to hand them a drink, and I had to like, I don't know, like, dude, don't deal with a guy like this. Get a Japanese sex doll.
Oh, that's awesome.
Dude, Kevin Caliber Thomsen is one dirty motherfucker. You heard it first.
Oh, that's awesome.
I've been the butt of a lot of jokes. I don't mind. It's all good fun, right?
Oh.
Hell
Great
yeah.
attitude. Great attitude.
Did you enjoy being on set?
That was a weird set. Well, the thing about that set is normally whenever you go through hair and makeup, it is a complete divide. Women will go into this changing area, guys will go into this changing area. That was one of my first times where this beautiful woman just completely changed right in front of me. And I remember being like, I guess I'm not supposed to look, but like, it's like the sun. It's like, I'll look away and I'm just kind of sensitive. And I'm trying to line it up where I can kind of see stuff in my peripherals without being too pervy, but it's like, would she be insulted if I didn't look? If I didn't, so that was one of the first and only times I've had it like that. Most of the time, sets are very much like that. But again, I had no idea what I was getting into. They said I got casted off a picture and went in, and that's what it was. So some of the rigors of the Welcome to Hollywood moments.
Wow.
Nice.
How long ago would that have been, Kevin?
That was, I've been out here for 7 years now. That was in my first handful of months out.
Oh, okay.
Most of my work started in the commercial world. I did a lot of commercial and print and little bitty bit parts and background is how I mostly got started.
Gotcha. Awesome. Sweet. Overnight success.
There it is, yeah. I started at the bottom, and now I'm just a little bit above that. So
I think that's awesome, man. I was telling them we were struggling like, what's Kevin going to talk about horror related wise? But you have a lot of stuff going horror related wise. But I said Waxx Waster's going to be gory. It's going to be.
Oh yeah, it's going to.
There's going to be blood.
It's going to be brutal.
So that's really cool.
Yeah, the original concept of it was that it was super brutal, and that we've kind of dialed it back for our promos to we don't want to necessarily scare away people, right, but we also don't want to pigeonhole ourselves into something. So we kind of leaned into a little bit of the comedy and the promo senses and some of the lighthearted sides of it. But yeah, don't kid yourself. It's going to be brutal. It's going to be.
Y'all were doing was crazy. I mean, like hitting the guy with was that Aaron you hit with the frying pan?
Yeah.
I mean, that's like. I'm like, how did he stop? How did they? That movie magic is amazing.
That's right. Aaron was genuinely worried. I was like, trust me, I got this. And, I take stunt classes. I've been doing this for years, so I know my camera angles and things like that. So a lot of it, that was a bit that I wrote that
that's
I didn't really
awesome.
tell them. They just showed up and we stood in front of a green screen. I said, I got an idea. Go with me on this. And for the most part, I didn't even write it out. Like, it's funny, like whenever Aaron or Jason, wherever they were at, they're true script writers, right, and they will really put it in script format. And for me, I'll just explain it to them. I'll be like, "This is what we're gonna do. It's gonna be like this one commercial that I saw once," and we'll just wing it. I haven't told them. I was like, "Say this," and then while we're on set, where cameras are already rolling, I was like, "Oh, say this instead." And luckily, we got a great team on that, and they just kind of go with it. So that's I know awesome. That whenever we get on set. To make the actual film, it's going to kind of be the same way. Everybody's got to be on the same page. Just be willing to get their hands dirty. It's funny because I've killed my cameraman a couple times. I've killed the director. I've killed the producer. It's like, hey, we're all in it. Everybody gets it eventually. I
think Charles finally got taken out. You took him out.
Finally, yeah. I defended him a couple times. I defended him against his dad a couple times. And
that was Scott. That was Scott, right?
Scott's great. Yeah,
Scott's awesome.
Scott's awesome. Yeah, he's a good dude. And they're all just, like I said, they're all just gamers. They show up and they're just willing to let us do whatever we want to them. So, but they put faith in us.
Cannot wait. Oh, I cannot wait for that.
Oh hell! You let me know if you guys need me on set. I will be happy to be there.
He'll kill
Absolutely,
you.
Sam.
He'll kill you,
Absolutely.
Sam.
No. So, and we've got some pretty brutal shit coming up with Normal Terror.
Yeah. You guys do some cool stuff. I love your posters. The animated poster you guys have is so cool.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, I need to post that again. It's been a minute since that's been out. So, but yeah, we just got a new DP, so we got stuff rolling again. So we're getting ready to get back on set and get some of this stuff knocked out, so we can get this thing done and get it out and get on to our next one. So
hell yeah, that's what it's all about, is trying to get it done and on to the next one. We always get log jammed with these projects. I think I have 7 projects going on right now.
Holy
it's
shit.
just how do you do it? They're all in various stages, and just to finish one is whole thing. And I've been doing the research on what some of these guys are, and a lot of these projects take 8 years from start to finish, even for people with big names and budgets and studio connections. So for us to do it on the independent level, it's just that much tougher. So you definitely gotta have the passion. You gotta have the drive to keep going with it.
I've seen a lot of these guys that get caught up in doing 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 projects at a time, or they're writing while they're filming, while they're this, while they're that. I refuse to do mine that way. Absolutely refuse to do it that way. I have my script. I have everything that I'm working on, and I'm sticking with this one project. I'm developing the stories for the next ones, but I will not work any further on another film, another script, or anything else until this one's done. I want all of my attention on this, so that way I don't miss something. It's not, I don't make any mistakes. I want to see my vision, so I refuse to not go past that. So. Yeah,
good for you. Yeah, because as a total filmmaker, that's a good way of going about it. Myself being a producer and actor. It's almost like you're always looking for these new opportunities. And for me, I have about 5 different directors and writers that I'm not exclusive to anybody. So I work with all these different people. It's like, oh, hopefully this one will film in November. We just shot one out. I got another one that I'm going to be directing. I'm airing another one that I directed. It was a series I co-wrote, and then another action series that is almost done. So it's an amazing thing, because being an actor, they're in editing, like, I got to do something. I got to move on to the next one. And plus, like being an actor for hire, there's some that I just come in and I do a day here or a month there, and it's gotta have it lined up. But more power to you on the being able to see it through. At one point, I had 4 projects that were all in post production, and I was like, all right, I'm not gonna even think about beginning another one until we start getting this done. Right. Because it's like, oh, that one's waiting on color correction. It's like, well, just color correction. Let's do it. What's the problem? I literally waited 6 months on color correction. I'm like, I'm not an expert in color correction, but like, can't we do that? Like, what's the deal? But that's also coming from an actor's point of view. They say, cut. I'm like, all right, I'm done. Like, when are we going to see the movie? They're like, I don't know, like a year. I'm like, a year? How about now? Can I come over next week, see a rough cut? No, you cannot. So it's that, as an actor, it's that instant gratification that you want and expect that you just don't get. Same thing. I filmed a TV show a year ago, and it finally comes out next year. I'm like, all right, I remember this.
Holy shit.
I don't remember it, because I'm watching it and I was like, oh yeah. Wait, what the hell's going on? Like, it's been too long.
Were the Future Man episodes out? Were they out pretty quick?
Future Man turnaround's about 6 months on Future Man. So I just filmed the series finale last month, and I think that's going to be January of 2020. So decent turnaround, because they don't do it episodically. They drop the whole bunch. Right. And I'm in the finale of that one, so it's going to be episode 8, I believe. So it's a little different. But,
are they going past that season, or is that going to be? That's it.
That's it. Yeah, they want to get back to the movies, and I don't blame them. Those guys, I'm big fans of those guys. They did Sausage Party and a couple of those other ones. I'm a big fan of theirs. So with them, they never planned on it being a drawn out series.
Okay.
They kind of had that in mind whenever they
it's such a frustrating show. I'm just like, because everything changes and they got to try to make it right again. And the Back to the Future.
Oh yeah, totally. Totally.
And I got frustrated with Back to the Future.
Right. Yeah. Like watching my favorite movie that was like that was The Butterfly Effect. Whenever he kept going back, and it's like. I mean, that was cool because it was more like the horror elements. It's like, oh, this time he blew his hands off. Shit. It's like, that sucks.
Or like the one he was in jail or in school and he went like this with the fucking.
That's right, because he was in jail and he did it to prove that he could go back.
Yeah.
I was wondering how he fell asleep so fast. Like he'd make himself fall asleep in like 3 seconds. I'm like, how the hell does that even happen?
I don't think he was actually falling asleep. It was kind of like hypnosis for him. It put him in a trance.
then he could do the thing.
Being that fucking stressed out, there's no way I could be like all mellow.
No, and the whole falling asleep fest. I forget which nightmare it was, but it was the one with the tough girl, and then she just jumped right into the kid's room. He's like, "How'd you do that so fast?" Just meditation. It's like, no, I can't.
Hollywood. It's Hollywood. That's awesome.
I know it takes me a minute to wake up.
Yeah.
It's afternoon. I'm still awake, and I got my coffee.
All right.
That's no joke.
Yeah, man.
So when do you start filming the Waxx Waster?
We're looking at November.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we just finished up our crowdfund, so we're in pre-production now. We're going through finding the right DP. We're probably gonna, if it's up to me, I say we shoot 2 cameras on it, just so single camera is great and all, but if you get that second shooter on, it'll make a big difference. So we're going through that right now. We have all the main casts secured. We're just kind of getting them side characters. We're ready to rock. I'm so ready for it. It's like I went away. I went down to Atlanta to film my latest season of my Tyler Perry show, and I came back and I was like, just give me the headband. Like, let's go film some more. It was like I was jonesing for it. It was like we're filming for it so much, and you become so close to something, and then that's all that you want. Like, who wants to come over?
I was transfixed from like, as soon I see Jen walks out, she's about to get accosted by Raymond Williams, and I'm like, I don't know where this is going, and all of a sudden you come out of nowhere and you make Raymond eat his keys, and I'm like, that's freaking awesome. And that's really cool.
The first one we did, yeah.
I shared it right away, and I was just like, I'm on board. I told them I was sharing. I would tag them. I'd tag Sam. My Damon Williams, he's out there with y'all. He's a good friend of mine. I think he's in San Fran. And he loved it he just connected with it right away. And every one of them, I couldn't share them fast enough. I want to be like the first one to share it,
Oh yeah, we really appreciate it too, brother. Appreciate everything you do for us, Lance.
All about it, man.
Lance is like the super fan of super fans.
That's fucking
amazing.
I try. I just want everybody to know. I just feel like when you connect with something, I just want the world to know, And I think Kevin is like the perfect. And Kevin looks like we go to the next level. Here I'm just winning the beach. What was the?
Oh, Muscle Beach, yeah, Mr. Muscle Beach.
You're just winning first place, no big deal, I'm convinced Kevin doesn't eat nothing but protein. It's like you just shake after shake after shake,
Well, the reason why I got in such good shape is because I was doing it to play Waxx. I was like, all right, this is my move, this is my character. I wanted him to be larger than life. I wanted to be just above and beyond, and it goes for something like that. I mean, I'm not going Christian Bale and losing 100 pounds or anything, or some of these guys. I was already in pretty good shape. I was like, well, I want Waxx to be the biggest badass possible. So and then I was filming, or I was doing that. We were filming them, and then the Mr. Muscle Beach was coming. I was like, I'm in pretty good shape. I think I'm gonna do it. And I thought about doing it as Waxx. I thought
that would have been cool.
Going in.
That would have been fucking amazing.
I'll still probably do it one day, but instead of like the board shorts, I'll probably wear like cut off jean shorts.
That's awesome.
Wear the headband and just go in there as Waxx. I really, really thought about it, but last minute, I don't know. Maybe I got shy. I don't know.
And he's only
I
played.
don't know if you can wear like the jean shorts though, because part of the flexing and posing is your leg muscles. So
totally. So I was thinking about that because I saw a website that has different cuts of jeans to try and be funny. They got like these little like denim Speedos and things like that. I was like, yeah, I guess if Waxx was going to go to the beach, I think a denim Speedo would probably be what he would wear.
Speedo and a headband.
Totally.
Hell yeah, dude. Or a fucking camo jean.
Yeah, definitely.
Like camo jean Speedo, that would be fucking amazing.
That'd be rad. I think I'm going to look for that.
Like the little fringe off the side.
Just cut some camo pants. Just cut them.
Yeah.
Put them into Daisy Dukes.
I still got all my old camos. I was in the Marine still got all my old school shit. Maybe I ought to bust out the scissors and get creative.
You broke up a little bit. Did you say you were in the service, Kevin?
Yeah, I was in the Marine Corps, and I still have all my old unis. So maybe I get somebody who's creative with a pair of scissors and let them have a little arts and craft project.
Well, once again, thank you to Sam and you for your service. We appreciate that. That's awesome. So good to know.
My pleasure, brother.
Awesome.
It's my duty. You know.
That's right.
So
Sam said Samantha said you said duty.
I said duty?
That was off the no duty.
Duty, like poop.
Oh, what
duty.
The hell?
He's all
That's your off-screen producer messing with you.
I know.
Hey, did you know? I don't know if Sam y'all probably know Kevin was Peter Parker, and he was Clark Kent / Superman.
I saw it in his background. You have a poster of it hanging up, huh?
Somewhere, yeah.
It's like on that side.
Yeah, that's right.
How cool is that?
That is cool.
Nice.
Yeah, eventually I'll play them all. I'm also currently playing Charles Lee Ray in the Tiffany and Chucky prequel series.
That's right.
I saw that.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, it's fun. It's cool because I'm not afraid of trying new things, and with the fan film world that we live in now, it's a really weird thing that almost anybody could do anything without getting sued anymore. I don't know how the laws work on that.
My understanding, the way that works is that they can only make enough money off of the project to pay for their production costs.
Yeah,
That's
you can't
it.
make extra money, and you can't pay your actors, and you can't.
Right.
People do, but you're not supposed to.
Right.
Gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense because the gentleman that I do the Chucky with, Chris Notarello at Blinky Productions, he started off as an aspiring filmmaker, made a couple feature films, and to varying degrees of success. And now he has Patreons, he has everything else, he does GoFundMes, and he just does these shorts. And people shout him out, ideas that they want to do. He came at me with a bunch of ones. First one he came at me with was Superman. And honestly, I'd already done the Superman. And the gentleman that I did that one with, he took good care of me. He made a SAG production, paid me my SAG rates. So I was treated very, very well to play Superman. And so I was, kind of exclusive to him in that matter. So Blinky came back at me and he's like, what about this? What about this? You want to be James Bond? You want to do this? And every one of them are kind of things that fall into my wheelhouse. I'm like, yeah, that'd be cool, I guess. That'd be cool. And he goes, and then he's like, hey, new Child's Play is coming out. You want to be Chucky?
Fuck yeah.
No. Chucky, huh? Like, okay, what do you got? And he sent me a script. I was like, yeah, I'm on board. Let's do this.
This is all prequel, no doll involved at all.
Right, yeah, it's all
prequel.
prequel. Yeah. First episode is whenever Chucky and Tiffany met. Tiffany's actually the star in this. She's great. Her name's Linnell Gibson. She's fabulous. It's mostly about her. So it's the first time that they meet, and then the first, part two is them going out and figuring themselves out, and then it goes along. We already started introducing characters from the storyline and all that. So anybody who's real familiar with it will, you'll kind of see how it's playing into it. And then we're looking at, if we do want to wrap it up, it will finish right up to the point to before the doll. So.
Gotcha.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Cool.
That's very cool.
Yeah, like I said, with the whole fan film thing, it's pretty funny because I've been reached out to by a couple different people, and we're all supporters of the arts, of course. We look up anything horror related. Anytime anybody sends me an invite, I try to do my best to support it. Especially being in the indie horror community, it's such a niche little thing that we all know it. Everybody, we've all worked with each other, and I love my indie horror friends. I really do. They're some of the tightest, coolest, most down to earth, easygoing people, especially in the entertainment industry. It's a cutthroat industry.
We all love it.
Oh yeah,
we love everybody.
I'm just now working on getting into that group.
Well, you got a couple people right in your exact area that up there in Canyon Country. I know a couple people up there in Valencia that are right into it. So
Absolutely.
But with that, I had a guy reach out to me recently, and he's doing there's several of the Friday the 13th ones going on right now. Especially, I think since the real movies can't be made because the contracts being all over the place, they can't continue on that lineage. So a lot of people are doing the fan film route. And it's funny because I had a gentleman that reached out to me. He's like, "Hey, I got this one. You want to be in it?" And he sent me like character breakdowns. I said, "I got to be honest with you, man. The only way I'm going to be in this is if I play Jason." And he's like, "Are you serious?" He's like, "But you would want to cover this up?" I'm like, "Oh, every chance I get. Like I would much rather be Jason than be, what else am I going to be? A camp counselor or something?" Like, I don't know, did I outgrow that yet? Let me do that. There's another gentleman that I work with, Robert Bravo. He's an effects artist, and he did me for I did a calendar shoot a couple years back, the Year of Fear calendar, and I played Sexy Freddy in it. And we did about 6 hours of makeup to make me look like Freddy Krueger, and it was the same thing. Like, what? They're gonna cover this up, Like, why would you do that? I was like, oh yeah, I look at this every day. Like, give me something let me do something that I don't do.
That's somebody's favorite, by the way.
I love Freddy Krueger. That's my guy.
Great.
Krueger nut.
Well, it's funny because I looked it up not too long ago because I was going to show it to somebody in conversation, and I looked it up and I typed in "sexy Freddy Krueger," and if you type that in the internet, there is 10,000 pictures of women and then one picture of me. And that's
wow.
I was like, am I really the only dude that was like, because every girl is, a big nail like this. like the tattered sweater that shows side boob and things like that. Yeah. I was like, am I really the only dude that's ever done that? Like, I guess I'll take it.
You may be the only dude they consider sexy.
That's true.
Maybe that's what it is. I'll take that too.
He's a pinhead nut, Kevin, if you didn't catch that.
Yes, I am.
I like that.
Putting this guy up there.
That's dope. I like that.
I only have one big issue with fan films. Okay. And that is that they kind of follow their own rules to a certain degree and are able to come and go and treat their cast as they choose. They can replace people, they can, and stuff like that. So that's my biggest issue with that, because I know not everybody out in the indie world is, true and honest and good people and, and withhold the contracts and stuff like that. So, that's my biggest issue with it, is that there is no repercussions if you get fucked over by some asshole.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a couple of, there are a couple of groups out there, that we've been associated with at one time or another that are exactly that way, So, cut the cord, cut the tie, and I'm done.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely, because there is taking that twist and going the other way with it, because what you hope to have is people that are just so passionate that they're willing to do it willing to work for nothing or do whatever there is, but there definitely is going to be people that are going to take advantage of that. And it's a shame because we see that in all of entertainment. I mean, I know I've gotten, cast in things and I show up at what feels like a day early and they just use and abuse us and don't pay us and make us drive 2 hours and don't even as much as give us a sandwich. And so it's a shame that does happen. That's where it falls into, obviously, where the budgets and whatnot come in. Because a lot of fan films either have little to no budget. So you just got to – it's a tough thing to figure out whenever it's too late. That's for sure. After you've already been screwed over. And it's like you almost can't warn people fast enough to stay away from those people too. It's a shame. It really is.
Dude, that's when I start breaking legs and jaws.
I'm going to call you in next time I have a problem with a director.
Hey, it would not be the first time, brother. It's okay. Hey, we're family now. You're part of the Sacrificial Terror family. What you need, I got you, brother.
That's right.
Hell yeah. Likewise, bro.
That's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, Desert Moon, real quick before I forget. Desert Moon,
yeah. Thomas Haley. Thomas
awesome. Sarah Fritz, Jen Nagel, Richard Grieco.
Richard Grieco.
Help me with Charles's last name.
Richard Grieco.
Help me with Charles's last name, please, Kevin.
Chudabala.
Okay, he's in it. Joe Netter's in it. That's Sarah.
Joe wrote it. Yeah,
that's right. And then his newest co-star. Well, I'll say newest. It's been out for a while. Julianne Prescott. She's also. In it. I thought that right there. That's a lot of my friends, our friends. You know, I think that's so cool.
That's right. Yeah, Thomas called me up on that one. I've worked on, I think, 5 projects with Thomas over the years. I've been lucky enough. I think this is my 4th film with Sarah. She's always great. She's just getting better and better as time goes on. And it's just that little dream team right there. That everybody's cool. Thomas hit me up and he's like, I think it was through a text message. He's like, "Hey, I got something for you. Please say yes. Please say yes. Please say yes." So I was like, "Thomas, for you, bro. Anything."
That's awesome,
right?
I'm looking forward to that one.
Yeah, it'll be cool. Yeah, they definitely did some cool stuff in that one. Yeah, you'll definitely like that. It's good, solid script. It was a cool story. So I'm really excited for that one too. Because I'll be honest with you, I do a lot of things that aren't so good. Not gonna lie, but that was one that I'm definitely excited for.
That's awesome.
So is this the Freddy? Is that you?
That's me.
You look it up? Yeah.
Yeah, it shows like the whole calendar.
Awesome. That is awesome.
There's an Ash, a Leatherface. Look at Leatherface's butt.
Leatherface's butt. That was the producer too. That was fun.
Dude,
that's so cool.
That ass though. That ass.
Yeah, he's a power lifter. He carries a lot of weight back there.
Right?
That is so cool.
That's cool.
Yeah, I did it the next year too. The next year we did more of the classic monsters, and I did the creature from the Black Lagoon.
That's my favorite.
Cool.
Next year.
That's my favorite. Look.
Is it really?
Yeah. See.
Oh, sweet. I'll send you a calendar.
That's awesome. Hell yes. Let's make sure we sign that. Make sure we sign that too.
I'll send Barbie 2017, and I'll send you 2018.
Yeah.
Right. But you have to sign it.
Of
Yes.
course.
Yeah. And make sure you send one to Sam. I'm sure she's gonna like it more than Lance. I think.
She's doing this over here.
Look, she's like.
She's all over this episode. So cool.
Sweet. We're getting calendars.
Hell yeah. So I think out of everybody that Lance just mentioned in that movie, I'm working with Julianne Prescott in my film Normal Terror. She's my autopsy victim. I'm working with Jen Nagel and Charles on Winter Haven. I was actually just asked by Jack Hunter to take that over. And we just released, but we haven't done an official release on that yet, announcing me as the new, I guess, owner of Winter Haven, written by Gregory Blair.
Love Gregory.
And then,
Gregory's awesome.
Yeah. And then I worked with Richard Grieco on Cross Wars 3.
Very cool.
So, which is coming out soon. That is almost out of post. So we're almost there on that.
Wonderful.
Yeah. So, and I'm hoping that on our next film, I've already got 2 involved as my stars. I'm hoping to have a 3rd right here.
You're pointing at nobody on my screen.
I'm the same here.
Me too.
He's pointing at my dog over there.
All right, where am I in relation to you, Kevin?
Yes.
Okay. So there
it is.
There it is. Yes. Okay. So I've already talked to a couple of people about this, and a couple of people have agreed to be cast in it. So I'm going to ask you here and now: would you be interested in a part in our next film?
Bro, I'm down. Let's do this.
Yeah.
I have faith that it's going to be cool.
Yeah, that's gonna be cool.
Okay, so here's
Did
the
Gregory
idea.
write it? I haven't done anything Gregory's written. Man, he's the nicest guy, but boy, is he twisted.
Right? No, he did not write that. I'm actually writing that one.
Oh, sweet.
So,
even better.
But as soon as we stop recording, before we hang up, I will tell you what the rundown is on that film, so that way you have an idea how sick and twisted it is.
Wow.
Beautiful. Love it.
Is it the second film that you're doing? That you're talking about? Okay.
Yes. It's the one about trains.
Yes.
Okay.
Paranormal horror.
Samantha says she's going to be on set for that.
Well,
now that Kevin's going to be on it.
Samantha's
we'll do makeup and stuff for Kevin.
Totally.
What the fuck?
Hey, speaking
Me
of
and Samantha
makeup,
are helping.
Hey, speaking of makeup, how about this right here, Kevin?
Ooh.
You got totally maked up on that one, didn't you?
Yeah, that was that was Robert Bravo again. He hit me up. He was the one that did me for Sexy Freddy. The first time I met him, I worked on a movie called Maternal Instincts with Felissa Rose and Tiffany Brookfest. And
I love both of those.
And in that, Robert did an amazing job with makeup. He did Charles and he did Michael Wainwright, and just amazing makeup. So we met on that. And then he did me for Freddy. Then he hit me up for Death Day, and he goes, "Well, it's a physical role, and it's the same thing. You can't tell it to me. It was 4 hours of makeup complete,
Dang.
and he kind of did the same thing. He's like, are you down for this?" I was like, "Oh yeah, hell yeah, get to be the creature,
right?
Like absolutely. The physical acting and all that is so cool, so fun." So we knocked that one out, and it was cool because that was the one that I met Jason.
I was gonna ask.
He directed that, and then I had worked with Aaron Mento on Ugly Sweater Party, which also starred Charles and Hunter, and Jen was in that one. Gregory was in that? Yeah, it was actually the first time on set. Was the first time that I'd ever met Gregory in person.
That's awesome.
Was on that set.
That's awesome.
So it was one of my first films that brought me right into that circle. We shot that, what has been, 3 years ago now. That's great. 4 years ago. How long? Jeez, it was in post for a while. It came out last year, and then that's whenever me and Aaron met. I met Aaron through Charles, and then we all just connected. And that's whenever, right after we shot that, is when we started talking about 16 bits. We started developing that 3 years ago.
That is
awesome. Then whenever after I did Death Day, Jason invited me to be on his podcast. He's got a podcast called Filmmakers On. It's about independent filmmakers. So I went on to that. And while we were brainstorming ideas for other pods, I had mentioned Aaron. And he goes, "Oh, I've been thinking about having Aaron on anyway for Ugly Sweater Party." So the three of us did one together. And then you put the three of us in the room together. And it was just one of those ones where we're like, we really like each other. We all seem to have the same vision. What can we work on? And then that's whenever Aaron said, "Hey, I got the script. It's Kevin plays a character named Waxx Waster. What do you think?" And Jason read it, and he said, "I'm on board. Let me take this to one of my investors." And he took it to one of his investors. The guy said, "I love the script. I got the perfect guy to play Waxx Waster." And Jason's like,
"No, I got the perfect.
That's literally the only guy that we have cast." He's like, No, this guy's going to be great." And he showed him my picture, and the guy looked at it and goes, "Oh, okay. Totally. Yeah.
Oh man,
we're gonna go with what you want because you have the money."
Kevin's like, "Whew, okay, shit."
Right, yeah, exactly. I was like, "Damn, that would have been heartbreaking." Like,
no shit.
In 2 years, you know?
Right?
Oh man,
damn. That's awesome. Yeah, it was cool that you brought Aaron. I was going to bring Aaron up too about Ugly Sweater Party. I think he is just genius as well.
Yeah, he's something else. He's creative. I love it. It's funny because we all post about like movies that we've seen, things like that, and he's like the king of the obscure, just craziness that I love. That's where I get a lot of my movie recommendations from posts that, like, you know, people with like-minded posts that they've seen. I like there's a couple people, present company included, that'll post something that they like or don't like. I'm like, oh, I know I got to see it then.
Right.
Where it's trying to get away from, because what we do is hard because there's so much out there, and being how saturated everything is nowadays with, I mean, there's something like 40,000 titles on like Netflix alone or something, whatever the crazy numbers are. That it's like, and then we all sit there and scroll through them. It's hard to pinpoint anything. So I'm always happy to take a recommendation from anybody. And Aaron's one that his recommendations never cease to amaze me. He's something else.
That's right. He does go back quite a ways too. He'll really go back. Some stuff will be, you know, fairly recent, but a lot of it's back. He's got some 80s. I think he had The Boys Next Door or something like that one time, and that's one of my absolute favorite. Charlie Sheen and Caulfield, I always messed his first name up, but it was Caulfield, the guy from Grease 2, the main character from Grease 2.
Yeah.
Oh, is that where the two of them, it's like all one day when they're out?
Kind of hoodlumish.
Yeah.
And Caulfield pees in the pool, and it's got the stuff that takes pee in the pool. And he's just like all proud of it and everything. I love that movie. And that's from back in the day. I mean, that's way back. Good movie.
Yeah, there's a lot of gems out there. It's amazing when something passes you by. It's like, because we're all big fans of film, so I just love it when we can geek out over something. It's one of my favorite things is to like let somebody borrow something. Like, you never seen that? Oh my god!
Yeah.
I'd love to see movies back with like the fresh mind. You know, like my daughter wanted to watch all the Halloweens with me last year.
Oh, cool!
And we watched Halloween 3, and spoiler alert, it's been out for 30 years, but she's like, they're killing kids, and I like sat there like a proud moment. You know, I'm like, like to see it through fresh eyes. You know, that's what she was just like blown away. They're killing kids. You don't kill kids, you know. Like, they do it Halloween 3. So, spoiler alert. Sorry, everybody.
Well, was Michael Myers in that one?
No.
That was the one without. Okay.
They were going to try to do a different.
Season of the Witch.
They were going to try to do a different Halloween.
Yeah, every Halloween. Yeah.
And everybody got pissed off and said, "Bring back Michael Myers!" Rah.
Well, it's a shame that we don't really have anything like that because growing up we had like Tales from the Crypt, which was you know obviously episodic. The stories don't connect. Where the closest thing that we even have nowadays is what? Like it's not even horror. It's Black Mirror. It's more thriller, but they're all standalones. I know that like the Twilight Zone came back out, but it's you know I kind of miss that.
I haven't seen the new Twilight Zone.
I didn't get a chance to see it.
Okay, I look at things from a filmmaker's perspective. So it's really hard for me to look at an original something to something now. And the remakes that they're doing, there's too much fucking CGI, first off. Way too much fucking CGI. Okay? Which takes away from your actors. Okay, your actors can't act if you have them in a fucking bubble on a green screen and they have these little fucking dots all over them and they're sitting there, well, look at here. This is what we have. You know, and they have like this big spider attachment to them fucking crawling all over the place. You know, it takes away from their ability to really act. And I'm really hard on camera angles and lighting and cinematography and sound and, you know, and all these other things that like, you know, and one of my biggest issues with that and, you know, with remakes and also coming back to the indie world is that a lot of people want to edit their shit themselves, which is great for a director's cut. But if that's not what you do as a profession, you shouldn't try to do it on a film that you are so passionate about. Let somebody else take the reins from you. Okay? You don't have to do everything yourself because you may not cut it right. And the plain and simple fact of the matter is an editor either makes or breaks your film, period.
I couldn't do it. I'm out. I'm out on the editing. I couldn't do it.
I got a lot to say about fucking. I got a lot to say when it comes to like.
I'm well aware. I know where my strengths are. That's not one of them.
Well, I don't edit either. I'm not going to even attempt to try and lay my tracks down and fucking this. Dude, it's not me. I don't do that shit. You know?
No, I totally agree because even as a filmmaker, you also you fall in love with things. And I've talked to editors about it because I'm a big fan of really long shots, really long one takes. Whether you know, I like nowadays how they're building in all these phantom cuts that you know it's really cool. You watch like whether it's an action movie like a John Wick or you know wherever it was like Birdman. Obviously, they're like state of the art. Just it's amazing. So I'm a big fan of that. And I know that I've fallen into it where we're trying to be like, no, then we'll take it here. Then the camera will swing around here because I've also directed and produced enough that I'm like, well, what about if we do this? Then we follow them into here. Then as they're spin around, like I saw Tarantino do it once. And it was fucking cool. All of a sudden we try to do it and we're like, it's not as good. And we're still married to it. And then I talk to an editor. I go, what makes you decide that? He goes, oh, I'm an editor full time. I know right away if it's going to work. He's like, and it breaks some directors' hearts whenever I immediately like, nope, we're gonna cut. You know, you're gonna get 2 seconds of that wide, and then we're gonna cut. We're gonna go into coverage. He's like, no, that's how it has to go. And if it was the director, they would have been in love with it. They wouldn't have wanted to part with it. Or as a writer, I've noticed writers. There's a reason why a lot of writers aren't allowed on set because they're so in love with every single word that if they're not saying it verbatim, it gets tricky. And I actually just listened to an interview. I forget which director it was, but he said he originally wrote the screenplay not to direct it. So he wrote the screenplay. Then as he got the job as the director, he went in as a director's point and changed everything. He's like, I did 30 drafts of the script before I turned it in. And I thought, no, this is what you need to shoot. And then once he put on his director's hat, everything changed. Right. And I know it's funny because I talked to Aaron Mentor, who's doing Ugly Sweater Party, because he edited that one himself. He had somebody else do effects overlays and all that. But for the most part, he edited himself. And he said he found himself cutting too much out because he's almost overcompensating. He's not trying to get a 3-hour director's cut. He's like, well, I just need to cut it down and use to be fast moving. And he cuts it down. It's like 71 minutes. He's like, ooh, maybe I overdid that, you know? Right. It's funny because everybody's got a different sound. If that's what you're going for, because the average script, what do we shoot? A minute a page. But then you get somebody like Aaron Sorkin, who they're talking so fast that, you know, hundreds of pages turn into, 40-minute episode of The West Wing or something. And it's funny because then you can watch a lot of indies where you can tell that they probably should be a 45-minute movie because there's not enough storyline there. They mainline everything. So then they'll have the person slowly walks in, sits down 3 minutes before anybody talks. And it's a funny thing to try and find that fine line there. And like you said, whenever director's editing his own thing, because it's one thing to sit in on a session and then make after the rough cut's already done and be like, it makes, I really wanted to get this, or cut change that here and there. But to actually do it from raw, it's a little different because they literally want to put in every single thing that they shot.
Right. Well, and not only that, but you're not looking at it from a what's best perspective. You're looking at it from, well, okay, I'm remembering we got this here, we did this here, this was great, this was great, this was great, this was great, that was great. And, and you're looking at it from that director's standpoint rather than from strictly an editor's standpoint. And if you're not working as an editor and that's what pays you, I don't think that you should work on your own stuff as the only editor. Because if someone's not paying you to edit their shit, you probably shouldn't be editing it.
You make a good and I know
I'm probably going to get a lot of shit for that, and that's okay. I'm not saying people can't do it, but most of the shit that I've seen that people edit themselves is it's cheesy trash to me.
You're going to be controversial? What?
I know, right? It's cheesy. The camera angles suck. The cuts suck. It's on frame too long. It's, the coloring sucks. For my film, I have an editor. I have a colorist. Somebody else is doing my sound design. I'm not touching any of that shit. I don't want no part of it. I want other people to be able to look at it and follow the script and say, okay, this is best, this is best, this is best, this is best, this is best.
Gotcha.
So
that's good because there are people, like you said, that get paid to do things, that they do it for a profession, they do it full time. Like I'm not a writer. I've got, a billion ideas as any of us do, but I'm not going to put the pen to paper. I will hire a writer, sit there, tell them the beats that I want, what it wants to be, and then I will make sure that I get rewrites or something like that. But for the most part, I don't have the gift to gab. I'm not going to pretend that I do. So it's like anything else. It's once you start getting into, we could just do that, or how about we just have so-and-so do it? It definitely does. We've all hired our friends to do things, and you can tell.
Can I be controversial, Sam?
Are you really?
I want to be controversial here.
Oh, shit. Hopefully, let's have it.
I think Rihanna knows where I'm going with this. Do you know right now in front of you, Kevin, on camera, you have probably the only person that likes the movie Death House.
Who's a fan? Is that Rhea?
Rihanna.
All right.
There was so much talent in it, seeing all of those people. That's why I liked it. I'm like, I know that person. Oh, I know that person.
My ass off.
Yeah, hey. It's not like the best movie ever made, but it was like I enjoyed it because of all the people who were in it.
And I haven't seen it. I'm gonna explain to you real quick, Kevin.
So you might like it. You just don't even know.
I might, but I couldn't really.
I mean, I can think of one movie that you like that I think is absolutely terrible, but I'm not going to mention it.
Right. Thank you for that. I could try to explain it through direct message, Kevin, but I feel like this platform's better because we can all talk about it. I was privy to a Facebook Live event. John Dugan was on it. One of our real close friends asked him a question, had no clue where the response that he was going to get. And he went on this like 2 or 3 minute spiel of F that director, blah, 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 because he took Gunnar Hansen's idea and he didn't. And what it really boiled down to was that the writer-director didn't ask any of the TCM originals to be part of it. And that's where it hit me kind of in the heart, like, well, shit, if I go buy this movie, Dugan's like going to be so devastated. Like he wouldn't even know, but it was like a personal thing to me. But now, we're months later. I really want to see the movie now just because I've seen so many people say it's terrible. Rihanna's like literally the only one that said it was good. And then especially when I found out you were in it, I was like, well, shit, now I really want to see it.
Just watch it. No one has to know.
I mean, I'll know, I'm going to,
I'll watch it. I
feel like I let Dugan down, and I don't want to do that, But it just, I think what the original idea with Gunnar was probably something completely different. And I believe the TCM people, the originals, were going to be in the movie, the ones that were still alive before Gunnar passed away. And that's the whole thing. My personal conundrum with it. I'm kind of, I had a chance to buy it. I never bought it. I am looking for it in the clearance bins because I'll buy it if it's in the clearance bin, and I'm not, and that was your work. And I feel bad. Like I feel like I'm shitting on your work. I don't want to do that. You know what I mean?
No, yeah, but it's all good. I saw it, so I get it. It's it was a tough one. There's a lot of talent in it, that's for sure. And like I totally get it with the watching it. You're like, oh wow, there's so and so. Like it is exciting in that regard because most of it are people that I've worked together. And for myself, even sitting in the sitting in the lunchroom, it was some of the first times I had met a lot of people. Wow. So I'm sitting there having lunch, sitting right across from Kane Hodder, and then Vernon Wells is right here, and then cool. Sid is at the end of the table, and I'm like, I'm sitting at the same table with all of these people. It was pretty trippy. It was, and then even to like be on that set, it was the first time I'd ever met Sid, and I don't know how Sid's doing. I don't know if we got any updates on him.
No updates.
No, nothing yet.
Okay, yeah, but he was as cool as you get, and it was like I was. Huge Captain Spaulding fan. It was one of my favorite things that, one of my favorite.
He's up there somewhere. I've got him up there somewhere.
Oh.
And so even to be able to like work with him, it was pretty phenomenal. So like you said, there's something to that I'm not sure what got lost in translation. I'm not sure if it was they tried to fit in too many things because you could tell if there was a couple people that well, we got this guy for this day, but we don't have this set, so where can we put him in? You could tell that there was definitely some of that. It's like, oh, just show up any day and we'll shoot you out in a couple hours. What do we got going on today? All right, yeah, we'll toss him in that, like with no real story or something like that.
I feel like a total dick because I'm like, I haven't seen it, but I'm going based on public opinion. I love that Rhiannon likes it. That really was. I was like.
But hold on. The reason she likes it is because of everybody that's in it.
Right.
She doesn't like it because it's a good fucking movie.
It wasn't like, torturous to sit through it. Like I liked it. I thought it was good. You're a fucking critic over everything. You would like it anyways. You hate everything.
Yes.
No, that is not true.
Yes,
I love a lot of fucking movies. It's right.
Hellraiser.
Yeah. Hello.
Fucked.
What?
That movie's terrible.
She won't watch The Exorcist though, Kevin.
I won't watch that though. I'm
sorry.
The Exorcist.
Like you never watched it?
Exorcist.
No, I've never seen it. I'm scared. Because my mom said I would get
on a horror podcast.
I know. Well, my mom said I would get possessed when I was little, and so now I'm scared of it.
Yeah, you don't want to be possessed.
No,
so,
I really don't.
That's always a bad thing.
And then
if that's your irrational fear.
Yeah. And then if I'm thinking about it, it'd probably happen just because I'm thinking about it. So.
Yeah, she was supposed to be in Death House originally. Linda Blair was.
Oh, really?
They were trying to they really tried to go big with it initially. They tried to have drawing a blank on his name, Freddy Krueger. They tried to have
Robert
yeah,
Englund.
Robert Englund. They tried to have all the big people in it because initially it was the Expendables of horror, and they were still kind of dubbed to that. But what you got is more of the people that were, known. A lot of not necessarily non-horror fans would know. You would have to, like, if you were talking about, say Dee Wallace, you would probably have to say the mom from E.T., which is, non-horror. Things like that. So whenever you're like, because initially they were going to try to have Freddy, Jason, Candyman, and they did get, they got Tony Todd, they had Kane Hodder, so you're still getting these really quality people, but it's still the not to say lower echelon, because I absolutely love Bill Moseley, and or the other Bill Oberst, as cool as hell. And it's like, if you're not a fan of his stuff, then you're not a fan of horror. But so it does get into that limited into that genre. But the initial idea concept for it is phenomenal.
It really is.
Oh my God, if you could have Leatherface and Jason and literally every cool person in it, and they say they could have even gone further with it, because that was the initial thing. And I don't know if these were rumors or not, but apparently they went to, I forget who it was, it might even have been Robert Englund, but they went to him after it was done filmed, and they're like, oh, why didn't you do it? He's like, well, nobody told me.
Oh, wow.
So I don't know if that's really true. I don't know if the agent just put the block on it, because a lot of these guys, the first question that they say, it all comes down to money. They say, what are you willing to offer us, and what is the total budget of the film? Because there's films out there. It's a shame that there's films out there that are on $100,000 budget that, in my eyes, are far superior in storyline and the craft of it than these $5 million budget movies that we see. But whenever it comes down to money and money alone, that's what they throw at you. And it's like, we're trying to make a movie on. I've been in $30,000 movies that were far superior to the multi-million-dollar movies, and not only the way that they treat you on set, but actually the finished product and actually what you're doing. So it sucks that it is money that runs these things. And I don't know if Death House, I don't know, because that one was another one that was held up in post-production forever. I don't know if they changed things around. I don't know if they ran out of money. I mean, we were all expected to come out a year before it actually did. And it was like, what's up with Death House? And then it finally does get distribution, and it's on Netflix. You're like, great, and everybody shits all over it. It's I don't know if that's what Gunnar originally, how close the story was to that. I don't know if the final cast was anything close to what it originally was, but it's weird how you never know how the Hollywood thing and making movies, it goes through so many steps. You just don't know what got lost where.
Well, I pledged you. I'm gonna watch it.
Good stuff.
I'm going to watch it.
You're going to see a lot of me. Very short time, but there's a lot of me.
Awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, that was so I would like to think that I've finally matured and graduated out of my guy getting killed. I've gotten killed I've gotten chainsawed down in a shower, and that one I was in my underwear, and Sid, stabbed me in my brain stem, and but I'm in my little tidy whities. I've even Ugly Sweater Party, I'm like shirtless, getting a hole blown through me. So I'd like to think that I'm graduating out of that and into the. You
get to do the killing now.
Like, how come I can't either do the killing or at least fucking come close to making it to the end? Right? Like, somebody sent me a script not too long ago, and it's literally like page 4. I just get brutally killed. It's like, even with the way it describes it, it's like he comes walking out shirtless. It even said in the description, shirtless with his pants hanging really low. Wow. What does that even mean? And I come out and I'm like, hey, fucktard, what are you doing? You know, I'm like, why do I got to be that guy? You know? Right. And it's funny because one of the first ones I ever did get killed in, it's just classic Hollywood or the tragedies of filmmaking, is that we did it, we all felt good about it, and I was even a producer on the film, and then the guy tells me, hey, you didn't make the cut. What do you mean I didn't make the cut? He's like, yeah, there's like a smudge on the lens, and like I couldn't cut around it.
Oh, that's bullshit.
You didn't check that? You know, you missed that?
Right.
I was like, I got thrown into the bushes. Like, this guy stabbed me and chucked me into the bushes. I'm really selling that shit. You know? I'm like,
dude, I love doing stunts, man. Yeah.
Wow. So they didn't reshoot it then?
No. He was like, no, we just won't use it. And it was, it was one of those tries. And it was funny because I was still on the IMDb, and and another actor got really pissed off because it got into a film fest, and in the film fest they just pulled it straight off of IMDb, and my rating was higher than his, so they had it sorted by IMDb rating. So in the flyer for the film festival, they're like, this movie starring this person and Kevin Caliber. I was like, dude's not even in the movie.
Oh wow.
I didn't make the flyer, man. I don't know what to tell you. I was like, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and take that off my IMDb just to avoid that.
I know it sells.
That's right.
That's funny.
That's fucking cool.
All right, guys. We're about the last 10 minutes of the show. Let us go ahead and do a special shout out to anybody you want to thank, any upcoming projects, any other podcasts or anything like that you want to shout out, recommend, or tell people to watch.
Yeah, very cool. I just finished my my action web series. It is called Job Guys. It is right there. Job Guys.
Nice.
We're almost done with that one. We are in editing on that one. It's probably gonna live on Amazon. I will post all about it. Follow me on socials. It is Kevin Caliber on everything: Instagram, Facebook. Friend request me, send me stuff. I like everything. I love supporting. I love the horror, love action, love everything like that. Another one, of course, is my bad boy 16 Bits. Yes. There's a crowdfund on that one. That's my boy Waxx Waster. That dude is awesome. I cannot wait to put that one out.
I can't wait.
It's whenever they talk about these types of things, it is my dream. Obviously, it's my dream to be in a franchise. I want to be in some sort of franchise. If it ends up being an action movie, that ends up being a superhero, if it ends up being horror, because I see some things, and it's all about partnering with these younger filmmakers. Like, I wish that I could have like my Sam Raimi, that we just go out into the woods and we come out with Evil Dead, or if I could have been been Lee Wanell and James Wan hanging out with them boys at the beginning of the things. That is the absolute dream there. So to anybody that is out there that is thinking about doing this thing, just it's good to make sure you like the people that you work with, because you could be getting in bed with them for a very, very, very long time. And there is going to be ups and downs. It is a full-blown relationship. Mm-hmm. So just know that whoever you go in with, it could be for a long time. Hopefully, maybe Waxx Waster is the one that puts me on the map. I would absolutely love that. Love to make it a franchise and just keep on making them. And outside of that, I've been fortunate enough to work with a lot of really cool people, and any one of us could really hit it. So it's just we work with so many talented people. A lot of people that are on here right now, and all the names that we mentioned before. Absolutely love it. Just keep on doing it. And I got into the producing things because I like being more involved. I help with the writing process. It's a whole lot of fun. So if there's any other filmmakers out there, you want somebody that needs somebody that's my type. I'm not going to be the dude getting naked in the shower, getting the chainsaw down anymore. I already did that. I paid my dues. You can kill me in any cool way. I do the effects. I do the stunts. I'm all for it, ready to rock it, hardcore. And just love doing what I do. So shout out to my co-producer and one of my best homies, Brooke Hubbs. He's the one that's doing Job Guys. He does almost everything. Our co-writer, our writer on that one, Dave Beaudry, me and him made about a dozen movies together. So hopefully we can continue doing that. And I got another little comedy series out there for you lighthearted folks. It's called Extralogy. I post all about that one. We have
funny.
2 episodes left. Yeah, thank you. I co-wrote that one and directed. It's my directorial debut. We have 2 episodes left, and then that'll be the first season. So hopefully we can make more of those. And yeah, just on to the next one.
That's where Fuck Book came from, right? Was it?
Fuckster, yeah.
Fuckster,
yeah. That was all me. That was all me. I thought that was funny and stupid.
That was good.
And that was about as close as my graphic design and editing comes. Is I actually made the thing on my phone.
Awesome.
I was like, let's do this. Yeah, it was funny stuff. Right. Yeah, it's a lot of fun on that. I love doing comedy. I didn't think I was going to get into comedy, but I played Blaze in Future Man, which is Seth Rogen and his crew.
Cool.
Very fortunate to do that. Season 3 comes out, I believe, in January. That one's on Hulu. First 2 seasons are streaming now. I'm a recurring character on that, a whole bunch of episodes. And then my soap opera style is my Tyler Perry show. It is called The Haves and the Have-Nots. It is on the Oprah Winfrey Network's #1 show. Awesome. And I'm in season 5, 7, and 8 of that. So you'll see me all over that. And yeah, another good dude, Tyler Perry. He's not listening, right? Not the biggest fan of his other stuff, but amazing person to work for. So I'm so happy that he continues to make these things. He's got an incredible following. Talk about your loyal fan base. He's got his fan base. That's what everybody strives to achieve. It's to have people that are willing to stay with you for the long haul, and that's what we try to do. It's not one project; it's the many projects. We try to get people to follow along in the career. Of course, Thomas Haley, my homie. The Crossing is still doing well in the festival world. We've won a bunch of awards for that one. I get to work with Laura Jean Lumiere in that. She's my scene partner in that one. She is the one. She was the lead female in Ugly Sweater Party as well, and a bunch of other familiar faces in that one. Melissa Rose, who I've gotten to work with, I think 4 different times. She was actually the one that got me the part in Death House. She recommended me for that. Oh, wow. So thank you, Felissa. Love you. And anybody who doesn't know, that's Sleepaway Camps, Angela. So we all love her. She's every bit as cool in person. So, yeah. And then one other one is Alex Wang's movie. He's got Barry coming out. I got a part in that. I also work with Sarah French. I play Sarah French's husband in that one. So another good one. Another spoiler alert, another cool tragic death for yours truly in that. Exclusive. Yeah, good stuff. So onward and upward, on to the next one.
We love exclusives.
Right on, brother. Yeah. So, all right. Now we thank you so much for being on the show. It was a pleasure. It was a blast. It was a lot of fun. Mr. Lance Wagner, what do you got, brother?
Just going to shoot though real quick. We got the Primetime Horror Show coming, another podcast, Kevin, to watch out for. Thad Timothy, Lance Dale, we call him L2, and David Martin. Speaking of David Martin, he's on a new YouTube show. I think he was just a guest spot right now, but the name of the show is Big Mike 779 _779 is how to find on YouTube. They do a spoiler review, a non-spoiler review on the new It. And that's how I got introduced to the guy. He's freaking awesome. Check his show out. We got our regular shout-outs, Damon Williams, Scott Williamson, and James Blankenship. Great people. Roy Rose, Lisa Rose, they own the gas station in Bastrop where the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre was filmed. They have a convention coming up in February, the Cult Classic Convention. We're all going to try to go. Kevin, it'd be great if you'd show up, just saying. And there's a giveaway going on right now through all their social platforms. I think if you go to Instagram and share, you could actually win weekend passes to it. And we're gonna be the ones announcing the winners. We'll be doing live feeds for that. Daryl Hook, Mr. Meat Hook, he has a group called Halloween 3 Lovers on Facebook. It's an awesome, chill group. C.W. Penny, Bradley Lynch, L.C. Holt, who was in the movie You're Next, the Lamb Face, I believe. They have a Rant and Raven Reviews, and that's all. I know it's at least on YouTube, and that was good stuff. One of the new ones coming out, keeping out for Kevin, Joe Ridgely and George C. Romero of Romero Pictures, called Indie Brigade. That's going to be it's more Facebook Live type stuff. They're going to be talking about indie, all the indie stuff, indie music. So it's going to be a neat little show. But Joe Ridgely's the one who asked the question to John Dugan on that live feed, and he did not expect the reply he was going to get. It was like a deer in the headlights. It was hilarious. Anyway, So Billy Pond, Bill Oberst Jr., and who we've had on the show, Parrish Randall, will be on the show soon. So we'll have a trifecta from Circus of the Dead. We're looking forward to that. PJ Starks, Drew Marvick, Mitch Rafter. They've been my horror hound guys. I live vicariously through this weekend, which this will be old and horror hound will be long over that. Y'all jacked me about that. Anyway, Chris and Taylor with our music and Matthew Price Thompson with our graphics. He'll need pictures from you, Kevin. He's going to make you look all pretty and stuff, and prettier. Sorry. And then I think, and my co-host. Thank you so much for having me be part of the show. My off-screen producer, my wife, who just got back from surgery. And might I add, Kevin actually reached out to me, or was like, part of the praying for Sam and all that stuff. And that really touched me that he didn't have to do that, and he did.
Of course, bro. And
that's why Kevin's the man. So, and I cannot tell you enough. I know I'm probably like a total dork the whole show, fanboy over Kevin being on it, but this is freaking Waxx Waster. I mean, it's Waxx Waster. What are you gonna do? So anyway, and I love everybody. Right on, everybody be excellent to each other, and Oakley dokley, I'm done.
Right on, Miss Rhiannon.
As always, everybody that Lance said, Matthew Price Thompson for our artwork that he always gives to us every time we need it. And there's my book. Chris Atella, and then thank you, Kevin, for coming on. And that's my book. So it's on pre-order right now, which actually probably by the time this airs, Kindle will be ready. But so Kindle pre-order. The paperback is live right now. So thank you to Crazy Ink Publishing, Aaron Lee, for taking on my books. I have 3 of them coming out, just not sure on all the dates, but that's it. I don't have all this cool shit going on, but
well, Lance has pretty much wrapped that whole part of it up for us. So
that's why I like it so much. I'm like, everybody just said. Yes.
So, it makes it easier for us. I run the intro, Lance runs the outro, gives our thanks, and then we plug our shit. So, it's all good. But, again, Kevin, thank you so much for being on the show. Awesome. It's an honor and a pleasure. I can't wait to get together with you and work with you on set one day. And that's it from us, guys. We're out.
Bye, guys.
Bye.